Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jerred Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jerred Moon here with Ashley Hicks, Kyle Shrum, Joe Courtney. Crew, what's up?
Good morning.
What's cracking?
What's cracking?
Much. Yep. So we'll get into it. We'll just get right into it. Feels like it's been forever since we podcasted all together.
It's almost like been 2 weeks.
Well, Ashley hasn't been here for a while, and that
I know you guys offended every woman ever that listens to the podcast.
I never heard anything.
When you
about
say
it,
we, what you mean is Joe. That's what you mean.
Yeah. I'm the least offensive person on the planet, so not possible.
Lies.
All right, so I'm going to start with my shout out for, I don't think I've shouted. I need to keep a list because I'm not keeping a list right now, and I'm definitely going to start repeating shout outs. So if I shout you out more than once, hey, it's awesome.
Extra shout out.
Well, we have Jeremy Puskas. He says, I'll be competing in my first 24-hour trail run on April 9th. I know I can get a distance PR aiming minimum of 50 miles, but I'm thinking of trying for 100 kilometers in zone 2. So he's been on the podcast, very involved in the community. So Jeremy, good luck on that. I have no tips for you. I've done a marathon. Anything above that will most likely never happen in my lifetime. So good on you for doing something hard. There you go. All right. Now, as far as the show goes, we are doing a study called Eccentric Exercise per se does not affect muscle damage biomarkers, early and late phase adaptations. This was done in 2020. This one kind of blew my mind. Not in like just let's say change some beliefs, not like blew my mind in like groundbreaking information, but changed some beliefs I had about eccentric training. And we're going to talk about that. The topic for this week is travel workouts, some of our favorite travel workouts, things that we do, maybe some of our philosophies. And then we'll be going over the workout, the EO3 5K.
Oh, yeah.
So now we'll get into updates. Ashley, how's life?
Life is good. I'm back. I saw my doctor actually last week. And so the medical updates are my blood work has looked the best it's looked since July, which is awesome. Like my antibodies are the highest, or they're the best they've looked. I don't want to say something wrong because they're not fighting against me is basically what's happening. But for those out there that eat pretty clean, but feel like something might be going on with your gut or whatnot, like we eat free range chicken, we eat grass-fed beef, we do nothing but wild caught fish. And I mean, all of our produce is pretty much organic. Our coffee's organic. I still have GI issues. I don't have leaky gut or H. pylori, but I did test positive for SIBO. And there's a couple of bacteria that my GI map just kind of showed that shouldn't be there that are there. So taking some supplementation to hopefully heal my gut and still eat the way that I eat, because that's the best way to help that along. But yeah, still with my low intensity. It is slow intensity. But it's my energy. I actually have energy in the afternoons, and that's been the biggest thing that I've seen these going 4 weeks of kind of dialing it back. And so clearly something's working. So, yeah, so I don't feel like I have to take a 5-hour nap in the afternoon anymore. So it's pretty good.
Hey, let's not hate on 5-hour naps.
Hey, I mean, I love me a good nap. I am a great napper. But it's not conducive to trying to do work in the afternoon and
It's true.
prepping for dinner. And I like to get my laundry and my mom wife chores done in the afternoon, if you will. So
Napping is awful. I just
Awful?
can't.
You want to go to the top of my shit list, or just get really angry bear in your face? Don't wake me up from a nap. Don't let me take a nap either.
It's basically why I don't like naps. I
Y'all
get
are
all
cracking
hot
me
and then pissed off. I don't know what happens about naps.
Wake
I've
up
tried
super sweaty. Yep.
Yeah, I've tried
bad
like
mood.
3 or 4 in my life. Never again.
wow.
3 or 4 naps.
Like
Used
I
to
Broken
it.
down.
probably take a nap every Sunday after church. Like at least a solid hour and a half, maybe even 2. It just depends.
See, that's when I get cranky, is when my kids are supposed to nap and they don't.
Oh
See,
yeah.
look
So
what I'm doing.
I
Look
don't
what I'm
get-
doing.
Yeah, I don't
Monkey
get
see,
to.
monkey do.
Yeah, especially on Sundays. Sundays are nap days.
You're not wrong.
Wow. Just uncovered a lot here. Got some nappers. Half nappers, half no nappers.
Yeah, we're on the same page, Jared.
All those listening out there, please let us know. Are you in team nap or team no nap?
Are you team nap
Team
or
crap.
are you wrong? That's where we are.
That's a strong opinion.
Pretty great. All right. Kyle,
Offended.
since you're team nap.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry, Joe.
So my big update, I'm officially a Mac user, except for the podcast.
So you're an imposter.
So I'm an imposter. Yeah. Finally, I've been wanting to make the switch to Mac for a while, and everybody else here uses Macs, and you guys have been telling me I should make the switch. So I finally did. But for some reason, the webcam I have was like really grainy on the Mac. And
Yeah, it's impossible. That's a user error too. It's probably a
well,
Mac issue.
I didn't realize that until I was getting ready to get on for the podcast, and was like, man, that picture looks really bad. So I'll just switch for today, and I'll figure it out later. But anyway, officially on the Mac train. So
His next update will be I'm on my Mac. I fixed it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully.
that's
Mac fixed it for you, more likely.
possibly.
They're like, we see what you're trying to do. Would you like us to fix this? That's like
Yes.
that's
Give
how
me-
Macs do.
Give me that option. Like, throw me up the dialog box, and I'll just push the button, and y'all just do it. Like,
Or
that
if
would
you
be great.
Google it, like typically like Mac support pops up first and it's like, here, this is what you need. So
Have you tried
Well,
Googling it, Kyle?
I did try Googling it. Yes, I did. Okay. I didn't have a whole lot of time though. So
Yeah.
I just did the quick fix and moved back over to this one that I know works. And
Yeah. Trusty
looks
dusty
halfway
PC.
Anyway. All right. Yep. Exciting stuff. That's it. Joe, your turn.
So I got a lot, but I'm not going to share them all right now. I just realized I got a new office chair, which is just exciting in itself.
Yeah,
So
you
I
look
can-
like you're on a throne, man.
I know you got
Yeah,
like a high
It's
back.
so awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's the king of the castle.
You could lean your head back and take a nap in that thing.
I can also switch it. Oh no, that's actually a funny story.
Oh no.
There was
Too far
when I
away.
when I was looking at chairs, there was one that literally was completely horizontal to the ground. It was like a dentist chair. Like, why would you want this in your office? And a couple of them did that. And then I found one when I was down there, just because I got when I was laying down because I had to test them. There's a footrest that came out, so you could completely lay down in your office chair.
Put you a
But how
TV
did
on
you-
the ceiling.
Work. Yeah, I guess you put your stuff up
Yeah.
there and then like get your
I don't know. Maybe this is just for,
wireless
like
keyboard.
the siesta crowd who do nap, but they just nap at work.
No, that's lame. I've never napped.
It's like a Google workspace or something.
Ooh,
Yeah, exactly.
Jared.
Really, the little nap pods and everything.
Yeah.
You guys can
Is
nap
that gonna
whenever
be
you
in the
want.
new
Yeah.
You have beds to nap in. Way better than a nap
Wait,
pod.
but I'm saying the like End of 3 Fitness headquarters, like throwing a
Yeah.
futon and like
No, throw in a nap pod.
It's gonna have a Murphy bed, a queen-sized Murphy bed.
ooh.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So
Well,
Just
whoever
just-
wants it.
if I'm out of
something
the
to have
office, I'll just have like a little sign that's like, "Excuse me, nap time."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jared and I will go play basketball and throw them against the wall and do those things.
And I'll
With
be very
basketball time.
upset.
Anyway, and we are done counting macros finally, which is exciting. It feels so freeing. I got so excited at the grocery store because before, when it came to food prepping, it was like, okay, if I cook meat, I have to cook just meat. If I cook vegetables, I have to cook one vegetable, and keep it separate from the rest of the vegetables so I can weigh them accordingly. And everything was very segregated. Now I'm just like, let's just throw all this shit in a pot because I'm just gonna eat it, and I'm so happy. So I got a whole bunch of stuff. I got some pork bones, and I made a stock out of pork bones because here you can just get the scraps and stuff that they don't use, and I just made a soup stock out of it and
That's
threw a bunch of
amazing.
vegetables in it. Yeah, so I did that. Some vegetable stuff. I'm gonna do because it's St. Patty's Day tomorrow upon recording. Bangers and mash.
Mm.
Excited. So no
Are you,
macros.
are you sure they were pork bones? Sorry.
They're labeled pork. Yeah. So
They're labeled pork. Yeah. Mhm.
well, you can
Yeah.
tell if you know meat, you can tell what meat looks
They're
like.
not a
when it's raw.
dog or
Yeah, you can tell. It's funny because in our grocery store, there's only one of the grocery stores that we go to that sells pork because of the religion here.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm surprised that this
Yes.
hasn't come up yet. But do you remember in like when there were video stores, there was like the adult section of a video store that you like
Yep.
the back corner behind a curtain? That's how
Mm.
pork is here. So we have
Oh,
to like
wow.
go to the dirty food section to go get our pork, which is in like a hidden corner in the grocery store.
That's why I asked if you
Oh.
knew there were pork bones. 'Cause I
That's
was
great.
like,
So it's like shunned and hidden away, so you can't see it if you're just walking through. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So you're just playing into like an American stereotype there now. They're like, oh, those dirty Americans back there getting the pork stuff.
I mean, no, everybody but them eats pork because
Oh.
there's a lot of UK people and
mhm.
expats and stuff.
Oh, okay.
They retire out there.
Yep. And lastly, I actually tried a carb rinse.
How
That
did
was
that
good.
go?
Great, because in the past I've talked about doing Murph and how halfway through the calisthenics I start to get a little nauseous, and I kept thinking that it was maybe because I always done it fasted, and maybe because I was running out of whatever blood sugar or energy. And so at the halfway mark, when I break it up 5, 10, 15 at 10 rounds, I started getting that feeling again. So I went inside, I switched some orange juice in my mouth because I don't have sports drinks, and I spit it out. Went and did 5 more rounds, felt better, felt good. Started to get the smallest feeling again. I knew I was going to have to run. So I went inside and I just took a shot of orange juice this time. So I just swallowed a little bit. Yeah. Took a shot and finished up my 5 rounds. Went for my run. Felt completely fine. So no, nothing. Usually it's those last 5 rounds where I'm like, yeah.
So when you say took a
Because-
shot though, like did you actually drink it or did you like rinse?
The second time around, I actually drunk it. The first time I actually swished and spit. Then I started to, after 5 more rounds, I started to get a little, it was wearing off. And then I actually took a shot and my body seemed to be like, cool, I'm happy.
I like the sugar.
Yeah. So OJ for gains. And that's all I got. What's up, Jerred?
Nothing. Let's get right into the study. No.
Cool. You're fun.
All right. No,
Yay.
I went out of town. I went on a family ski trip, which was the first time my kids have been skiing. All 3 of them skied. So
Even Eleanor?
Eleanor's only 2. She's about to be 3, but everyone skied and it was awesome. My boys, well, let's see. My boys are very different. William, the oldest, he's very cautious. But he's also incredibly athletic. So he was just getting good at skiing, like, being able to take turns and like he could go fast if he wanted. He was like very much in control. Graham is our fearless one, also very
I
athletic.
could totally just see him just go down the
All
mountain.
he does, so if you're familiar with skiing, to
it
slow
french fries?
down when you're starting, the only way to stop is they call it the pizza or the snow plow, where you're kind of putting your skis like in a V shape.
Pizza and french fries.
Yeah, he would just go straight down the mountain, and if he wanted to slow down, he'd pizza a little bit until he got to a speed that was comfortable, and then he would go straight skis again. But not a single turn. I don't think the kids ski or turned a single time, left or right, as we were going down the mountain. But it wasn't like a bad thing. We would all get off the lift, and it'd be like William and Emily. They were kind of going down together. Then we would just lose Graham. I'd have to speed down the mountain to catch this kid. So it was just a lot of fun. We had a great time, and no one got hurt. It's the biggest thing. I'm always worried. I don't think the kids would get hurt, but I feel like I could tear an ACL pretty easily.
Probably trying to
or-
catch Graham.
or break
you-
something.
Have you seen the YouTube video of the dad like yelling at his kid to pizza? Have y'all seen that?
No, was it of me?
Oh
Because that
my-
was probably like day one on the mountain.
It's
Stop!
hilarious. Y'all need to go YouTube it. Just type in dad screaming pizza or like it's really funny. Go watch it.
I have one other update, and this is also a game. Or you guys don't know this is happening.
Oh,
I got a
no.
new piece of gym equipment. And as long as you haven't been told, like if Emily told you, Ashley, it doesn't count. If you haven't been told, if you guess it, I will also buy you one.
Oh
So you each get one guess with free equipment on the line.
man.
I will ship it to your house if you guess what it is. And you all get one guess.
Oh man,
I
I
feel like
don't
Paul-
even know.
It can't be something crazy expensive because like he would
No.
not ship us something crazy.
Or maybe
No.
I'm feeling very generous and I want to send you
Rogue
something-
Echo bike.
Do you
Yeah,
get any
Rogue
hints?
All right, Kyle, you're gonna go first because I
Oh.
feel like picking you first.
Great.
I know how
Great, thank you.
strategic you are in life, so I'm
Strategic?
removing.
My
removing-
strategy is, what
It's-
do I want Jerred to send me? Maybe this is what he got.
I was like, out of all of us, Kyle's never even been to your
Well,
gym. So
here's
he can't
also-
like picture it.
Also, the deal. I won't tell you if you're right or wrong until everyone has guessed.
Oh,
So it won't eliminate anything for anybody. All right, Kyle, what you got?
I don't know. I don't remember what you had before.
Who's to say I didn't buy another one? I have everything.
I know you
do.
do. Honestly.
ish.
Yeah, I don't have a GHD.
I see that was going to be my guess, but I thought that you already had one.
I'm just.
know
I'm
what?
not. I'm not playing any
think you-
games.
I think you've already got
That's
one,
me.
but I'm just going to say the Echo Bike.
Okay, Echo Bike. One guess for Echo Bike from Kyle. Joe, what's your guess?
So I was thinking of something that is going to be more for accessory work and something that's just helping you either in recovery or just making things a little more challenging for either like a band hookup for either squats or deadlift. But I think with your small back injury going on, and because I think he's focused more on deadlifts, you might want to take some strain off of it. So I'm gonna go with a trap bar.
No, that's my guess.
Dang it.
Dang it.
You can still guess it. He's
No.
not saying if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah,
I
but then
won't say
he...
if he's right or wrong.
That's just my train of thought.
Can I have a clarification?
Sure.
Is it for you?
Oh, whoa. Time out.
You can't have a clarification.
Did you get Emily a female bar? That's mine. Emily's female bar.
Oh, let's see. Okay, Ashley wins.
Yes.
Oh no, that's not fair.
It's fine
No,
though
actually, no.
because
But there is a further designation. She got not a regular barbell, a curl bar, something I
Oh.
would never generally buy. That's why
Does she
It's
ask for
super
it
tricky.
specifically?
she wanted it because like if she's squatting or deadlifting stuff, she can just use the regular barbell, but she feels like she can't do like any upper body work with the even like 35 pound, I think was challenging. So we bought a curl bar, which I think is kind of funny. I haven't touched a curl bar in a long time,
You could have just bought like a 15-pound bar.
but you technically guessed it in generalities. So
Whoa. Generalities.
How that? She said, "Did you buy?" She said, "Did you buy?"
can
Emily
deadlift with
a
that
women's
bar.
You
Yeah.
could deadlift.
You
Not
said
a
a
curl
women's
bar, not
bar.
an easy bar.
Okay, I guess we'll have to throw it to the listeners. Does Ashley
What?
get the prize?
It's also
that's-
not your piece of equipment. It's for Emily.
Okay, you know what's funny though? The
He
next
said, "I bought
thing,
something new for my gym." That's what he said.
Oh, okay, yeah.
the
okay.
next thing on my list, because when I was buying her bar, I was like, well, I'm gonna buy something for me too. It was going to be a trap bar,
Yes.
As
but
soon as he said trap bar, I was like, "Oh man, I
Oh.
remember him talking about a trap bar."
Rogue is
that's what it
still
was.
like I'm on their wait list, and I'm not good at like buying
Damn,
things
so
when I
I
get.
would have
off the
been
wait list.
right.
You
I'm
would have been right.
We're
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
Well, not Kyle, but
That
no,
was my
that was
first
way
choice.
off.
Samsonite.
Way off.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that was it.
That's
The
fine.
only other update I have. What?
You have the Echo Bike?
I don't. I have no
Okay.
Airdyne right now.
So okay, so I was.
That still could come.
That's what I
but
thought. I thought that you didn't have one.
I have a
until this.
concept. I have a bike erg. I don't
Right. I
have
was
that.
like, you have the concept too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So I
got
knew
rid of
that.
got
Or
rid of.
it's
I donated
clunker.
it.
At least I didn't guess something that you did have.
Yeah.
Ready.
And then HQ Progress is swimming along. They have they're working the electrical lines out there, and they've roughed in all the plumbing. So this week should be pouring the foundation and then framing after that. So it's moving a lot faster than the initial start of it, which was like 7 months of doing nothing. And now it's like 3 weeks of doing a lot, which is cool. So that's it. Now let's get into this study. Now that I played, I should play that game with you guys all the time. I'm sure you would enjoy
Just
it.
keep buying
Yeah,
stuff.
just
and
keep buying new, just keep buying equipment.
Well, I don't think I'm going to ship anything to you, Joe. It'd be like a reserve. It'd be like
Just hold it until I get
when
back
you
to
get
Texas.
back, you can have this thing. You can keep it as like a
Well, VD's still
IOU.
waiting on his.
because he technically won. Yeah, the barbell. All right, well, we'll get into this study. All right, it's about eccentric training, which is the lowering or the lengthening of a muscle. So if you think pull up, if you were to pull yourself up, that is the concentric part of the movement. The lowering back down to the earth would be the eccentric. If anyone needs help with that, it only gets confusing with when you're talking about the difference between deadlift and strict press, which part is the eccentric. I think people can get confused sometimes. But if you've ever done any sort of eccentric training, it can wreck you. It can just absolutely wreck you. That's why I find this study interesting, because when I was doing more bodybuilding, my buddy always wanted to do that. And so we would do bench press, because with eccentric also you can lift, I forgot the percentages, I think it's up to 30 to 50% more. You can control more weight in the eccentric than you can the concentric. And so what we would do is we would load up, we were doing bench press at the time, we'd load up 110 120% of our 1 rep max, so more than we could actually lift. And your spotter would unrack the weight for you, and you would just control the weight down to your chest as hard as you could. And then you'd push up, but your spotter would, pull up on the same. So you'd get it back up, and you'd only do 3 to 5 of those reps, but you'd be so sore the next day. It was unbelievable. And so I was pretty interested when this study came up. The main purpose was to see what high intensity, unaccustomed eccentric training happened, or what happened to beginners, I think. And what they did was they tracked muscle damage biomarkers, and the aim of the study was to investigate whether a causal relationship indeed exists between eccentric exercise and muscle damage. So there are 24 men randomly assigned into a concentric only, which I think is funny. That would be a weird way to train. So concentric only or eccentric only training group, and perform 10 weeks of isokinetic resistance exercise, 1 session a week of 75 maximal knee extensor actions. Physiological markers of muscle function and damage were assessed prior to and 1 to 3 and 5 days post each session. Biochemical markers of muscle damage, creatine kinase and inflammation C-reactive protein, were measured prior and 2 days post each session. And it seemed like the big conclusion here was that over time, your body becomes accustomed to things that you do. And then at around week 10, there were no alterations in muscle damage biomarkers, and nothing was observed. And then even the strength gains at the end of the training period were pretty close between the two groups. Didn't matter if you did concentric or eccentric, which if you would have told me, set up the experiment and had me guess my hypothesis, it would have not been that. It would have not been that. They would have been close to the same, or that your body would get accustomed to eccentric exercise. So I have some takeaways for that. But what did you guys find about the study?
Well,
I was very
sorry.
good.
Eager beavers.
Well, I was saying even in body mass, I thought maybe one would have a different body mass or muscle mass, nothing. They were both, if you look at the chart, they're both very, very similar, maybe 0.05 off of one. So nothing really changed within the 10 weeks for like the strength or the muscle. Like they both had the same, basically the same throughout. But the reason I wanted to go first was just because I want a clarification. Like we talked about this a little bit before the podcast, like what a leg extension is. Describe a knee extension to me. I've never seen that. And I'm having a hard time visualizing that.
I think it's the same thing.
I think
Just
it's the
different
same.
words.
So,
Yeah.
oh, well, then there you go. Never mind.
I'm trying to think isokinetic. I think the difference is that it has the same amount of force throughout the entire movement. And they're done with like these special machines. So some people, you've been to a gym and maybe you've been on like a leg curl or a leg extension machine. And you'll notice that you can probably lift more weight at the bottom than you can the top, and that's the same with everything. Even like a bicep curl, if we were only doing a quarter of the movement, you could lift a lot more weight. But these isokinetic machines, if memory serves me correct, it's from the first millimeter of the movement to the very end of the movement has the exact same resistance all the way through. So there is no, like a lot of what Louis Simmons talks about, or if you've heard of like band training or chain training, like it's supposed to compensate for those things. But these machines like remove that. You just have the same amount of resistance throughout the entire movement.
Okay.
Something
Joe,
garage gym athletes can't do, by the way.
Yeah. Joe, you can go first. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was, I guess, along the same lines of like they did it. One did eccentric, one did concentric, but like you can't really do that. Like most people can't do that unless you are doing negatives with a spotter or like doing sled push, leg drags. Other than that, you're going to do both at the same time. You can't really most people can't just train one at the same time. So I wasn't really sure how or why. I guess they just really wanted to see if just isolating one would do. But who's going to just do one? Like when we do tempo, we're focusing on one part, but we're still doing the other. You still got to get back up with the weight.
Yeah, I'm thinking like in a squat, like you would have to be at the bottom of a squat and someone put the barbell on your back and then
just
you
drop
stand
it.
up.
All right, put it back up so I can do it again.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't work. I was also curious as to why they measured torque. So to me, measuring torque is like a dynamic thing, yes? Or so I was wondering why they're measuring torque, because how are you going to measure torque on the eccentric part of a training?
I guess just
I think these
pass it
machines would
down.
report it either way because of that constant resistance I was talking about. Like I think that you'll be applying some form of force to the machine no matter what, even way down or way up, right? And yeah, that's kind of this train. I mean, I get it that they're trying to isolate. They're trying to isolate a form of movement so it's a proper experiment. So there are 3 types of muscle contractions. There's concentric, eccentric, and then there's isometric. So I also think it'd be cool if they just threw an isometric just for a full experiment. That would be a cool. I feel like we know very little about isometric contractions in general, because if you think about just lifting any type of weight or doing any type of movement, we're going through all of them. Isometric, you can skip altogether most of the time. If there's no sort of pause, you can just not do isometric training at all. But I would be very curious to know what happens if we had isometric only training. So that would be one person does just the lowering of the knee extension, one person just does the straightening of the leg, and then one person just holds it for a set amount of time. Like I'm going to hold it to muscle failure every single time. I think that'd be really cool just to see what happens.
Yeah. I didn't really see the backgrounds or what the subject requirements were, but it was good to see that, it took 7 weeks for them to adapt.
Yeah.
For the eccentric. So, and you're going to adapt to everything after a while, but 7 weeks is fairly significant in a time that took that long too. And if that's all that they were doing, if you're doing something else, like if you're doing training how we would with, doing both sides of the movement, but just focusing on the eccentric portion with like tempos, then it just kind of clearly solidifies how it could be a useful tool to really break down your muscles in different ways, whether lighter loads, if you can't be lifting heavier loads. It really helps to show that how beneficial it could be to incorporate into the training. So that was cool. Kyle, what you got?
I think everything has kind of been said. I would say that we kind of kind of harp on studies sometimes when they use inexperienced lifters when they shouldn't, or we don't think that they should. Like it would, like of course you saw gains and stuff with inexperienced lifters instead of using some experienced people. But I think this was a good one to use inexperienced lifters for, simply because you're trying. I think part of what they were trying to see was how you could adapt, how your body could adapt to it, and so that would kind of be my takeaway from it. Would be for like newbies in the gym, whether it's garage gym athletes or wherever it is. Like newbies are going to see those newbie gains, but you're going to see those newbie DOMs as well. Like your muscles are going to be sore when you're first coming into it, things like that. And so you're trying new things, but it doesn't, I guess it doesn't just apply to newbies. It applies to people who are just trying new things, new ways of training. But I would just say to like newbies, like your body's highly adaptable. You know what I mean? Like these people were specifically focusing on one piece of a movement, and it took them a while to adapt to it. But by the time the 10 weeks was over, didn't matter which piece they were focusing on, they were basically training the same. Like their muscle damage and their strength gains and all that kind of stuff, it was all the same and all equaled itself out. So I would just say keep moving forward, even when you're feeling the DOMs, when things are feeling tough, and your body's going to adapt to it, because the human body is extremely adaptable anyway. And I think that's what this really showed, was just how adaptable it can be, even with people who are new to it.
Yeah, I had a very similar takeaway with just putting this in relation to garage gym athlete. If someone's relatively new and you just look at these timelines, 7 to 10 weeks, something like that, let's just round it up to a cycle. So if you're new at garage gym athlete and you train with us for 12 weeks, that one cycle should be good. If you are brand new, like I know you're going to be really sore and things are going to be painful, but that will all normalize by the end of one cycle. And then after that, a lot of what we do should just be fun, because you shouldn't be waking up with like this terrible soreness and pain and everything else. And those things aren't necessarily bad. And my other big takeaway was harder isn't better, which is kind of what changed my, I'd just say my prior beliefs on eccentric training, because sometimes when I like to be sore. Like, Kyle, I know you're very similar too. Like we enjoy that soreness, because if you do like a really hard workout and you feel nothing, sometimes I think it comes from that beginner mindset of just like, did I do anything? Did I do it wrong? And the answer is no, you didn't. That's just more of a mindset thing, wanting to be sore. That doesn't mean I still like to be sore when I'm sore. It doesn't change the fact, but it doesn't. I can, if I did a really hard workout or a good workout and I'm not sore the next day, there's still a lot of benefit there. And even in your muscle, not just cardiovascular or, respiratory or whatever, like there are still muscular benefits. Your body's just so accustomed to the training that you're not seeing the ridiculous DOMs that you would previously. Like I know it's fairly difficult for me to get sore now. Even with like Murph, like I can take a lot of time off Murph and come back to Murph, and I won't really be sore after doing Murph. But the first year that I did Murph, or the first year of doing it every week, I was ridiculously sore every week for 14 weeks. That's how long it took before eventually it just stopped. But it also has never come back. It's like never come back to that level of sore again. So your body does get accustomed to these things. And so that's kind of my big takeaway is you don't always have to chase things being hard or always being sore. You can still see a lot of results, and it does go away after about one cycle. And then after that, you're just having fun. Anything else? Anybody?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. Let's get into the topic. Joe, what are we talking about?
Travel workouts. You had your trip coming up, and then you two bros are traveling again soon. I might be traveling. Ashley's been popping on and off. So we're talking about traveling workouts, working out while we travel, things of that nature, how we get things done. Kyle, let's kick you off.
It's interesting. Well, I don't want to. I won't call you out, Kyle. Never mind.
Oh, what?
Wow. I'm actually interested. I want to know where you were going with that. I don't
Okay,
even know what
fine.
that
We'll
means.
go there.
Let's do it.
So in our team meetings, we have a team meeting every single week, just a little behind the scenes here. And we all report to each other. It's kind of like an accountability thing every single week. How many training sessions we completed and what book we're reading. So it keeps us on point physically and mentally. That's just something that we do as a team. And I do recall one time Kyle went on a trip,
That's right.
a vacation, and came back and we're doing our little report. And I was like, all right, Kyle, how many training sessions do you have this week? And you were like, 0.
We did one.
Trained none while on vacation. So I am interested to hear about your travel workouts, or let's just say philosophy on when you should train and when you shouldn't train when you're traveling. Because I do believe in unplugging for a bit. So I'm not saying what you did was bad necessarily, but I just remember that as a funny moment.
We'll let the community decide what you were actually saying there. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. First point I was going to make was I don't travel a whole lot. And so like, I'm typically at home, I'm typically at my gym. And so the training sessions I do are just it's the track that I'm following. So, we do go out of town sometimes. Specifically, I was thinking what came in my head was, we typically go to Hannah's parents over the Christmas holiday. So like basically the entire week of Christmas, which is what you're talking about. The entire week of Christmas, we're gone. And so, I have taken a kettlebell and stuff with me before and done some stuff. I've done some body weight stuff while out of town. I think the one you were talking about, because we did some kettlebell stuff and we did some running and stuff the last time we were at her parents' house, but we went to the beach last summer. And the only workout we did was we went on like a 40-minute run. That was it. And it wasn't on the beach in the sand. It was like out on the street. So like we did just road running. We ran out for 20 minutes and turned around and came back. And so, but to me, like if you're vacationing, it's okay to, be on vacation. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean go completely berserk and just throw everything out the window or anything, but it's okay to relax and chill and make your workouts a little bit different, if you're going to be working out, because you can't take your whole gym with you. And so I would just say mostly when we're out of town, mostly we're going to do some kind of running or some body weight stuff, or maybe we'll take a kettlebell with us and do some kettlebell work. That's typically what I wind up doing. I get to pick now. I never pick Joe, Ashley.
It's a new rule. All right.
Hey, see how it is. Lines were drawn.
This is why you don't take sides on political things like napping.
Yeah.
Napping is a political thing?
Of
I don't
course.
think we have time to get into that.
We have triggered a lot of people, I'm
and
sure.
how Murph is cliche.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was last time. Yeah. Okay.
I haven't heard a lot of slack for that though. I figured for sure on the Facebook group people would have blown up after that.
Really, they're not listening that long, so.
That's true.
We can
They
say whatever
stop.
we want. People
They
only make
just-
about 25% of the way through the podcast.
Yeah.
They just
I can
skip
pull up the
over
statistics.
They just skip over what I say anyway. They don't care about what I say.
Fast forward.
No, it's just Kyle. So I said we've done this one before, and so I'll reiterate. The one-man system is my favorite thing to do on traveling. My husband and I probably have done the one-man system every single time we were traveling when we lived in Europe. We lived in the UK, but we were traveling within Europe, or when we go home. Sometimes, so his parents live like 15 minutes from a base gym, so sometimes we're able to still thankfully follow the programming and just go to the base gym. But if we can't, one-man system is the way to go. I said, never have I been so sore for just body weight workouts. Like the one-man system will kick your tail. And the Tabata workout out of that is probably one of my favorite body weight workouts. Like it's 40 minutes long. And if you're not dying by the end of it, you did it wrong. And we basically will sometimes switch out movements if we're just like, we're kind of bored of this, we'll just figure something out and do a different movement or something like that, just to switch it up. But yeah, one-man system is the way to go. And funnily, whatever, I picked the EO3 5K
Mm.
as well. I said just some version of it. Like you don't have to do the full version. Like you could do like half of it or whatnot. Like I love it. There's a reason it's my favorite. It's because you can do it literally anywhere. And we've even done it on a sidewalk. I think I remember telling you guys and y'all were laughing at me. We did it around the sidewalk where we were visiting. It was like an Airbnb, and this man stopped on the side of the road, like stopped driving, backed up because I was on the sidewalk, like doing my push-ups or whatnot. And he thought like I had gone from running to just probably falling. And he was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing my calisthenics," as I like flip over to do like my sit-ups or whatnot. So if you don't care what other people think, you can do the EO3 5K anywhere. But yeah. All right, Joe, I'll pick you.
By
I feel like
default.
Ashley's that person that goes on your retreat or your girls' weekend and is like, "Have you heard about the EO3 5K?"
She's done that before.
I did.
Yeah,
You did,
exactly.
didn't you? Yeah.
So when I travel, so I'll kind of go to. Well, you know what? I was going to go to Kyle's aid for a second, but I'm not going to anymore. But I just will say that when Liz and I travel, we don't vacation well. We vacation hard. We're typically walking like 12 miles a day when we're doing things. We're like always out and about and
Oh.
doing stuff and have things that are like there's not really much relaxing period. So if we work out, it has to be like first thing in the morning or something. If not, then we're just so busy that we don't get it in. So certain trips we don't do it a lot, like structured workouts. But if we're like at my parents or her parents or whatever, then we'll work out then. So two of the things that we normally do are if I want to feel any sort of muscle fatigue or pump or anything like that, grids. We'll do grids throughout the day. I structure my grids, my work, whatever they are, push up or whatever you're doing. My grids are very structured. I will always pick a rep scheme and stick to it for the entire grid. I don't just do like random reps throughout. It's like, okay, this entire grid is going to be 10 push-ups and 15 squats. And a lot of times there'll be a superset too for how I do my grids. So my grids are very structured and sometimes a little intense, but it'll be throughout the day. So by the end of the day, I'll definitely be feeling it. So that's what I do for those because they're really easy to fit in no matter what you're doing. And then the other one is usually if I'm away for a while, I just want to sweat. I just want to get my heart rate up and then just to feel like I'm doing something, zone 2 or increase the blood flow, all those things. I just want to get sweaty and get my heart rate up for a little bit, even if it's not that intense. So if we brought our running shoes, we'll go for a run, like a 30-40 minute zone 2 jog or something. Sometimes I'll make up some intervals. Or if like when we were in quarantine for 2 weeks and we couldn't leave the hotel, all we had were, bands and the friggin' water jug, was I decided for us to do a 30 minutes of zone 2, like melee free for all, to where you just do whatever you want for 30 minutes to keep your heart rate in zone 2. So like I did burpees, air squats, push-ups, jump squats. It was just whatever to keep your heart rate in like in your whatever the zone is that you set.
Like a jump squat is auto zone 4.
Yeah, I was like, burpees are not
Burpee
zone 2
is
for
out of
me.
zone 4 for me.
No, so the burpees I did pretty slow. I was doing those for like 7 minutes before I moved on to something. But the jump squats I partnered with push-ups because right when you get down to do push-ups, heart rate drops big time. So then once you get to the bottom, you get up from your push-ups and do a couple jump squats, like 3, and then you get back down and do push-ups. So we just did that for 30 minutes because you're in a hotel, you got to do something, and it was kind of fun.
Did you just do like an accidental flex on like I just did 7 minutes in heaven? Do you know the workout 7 minutes in heaven? The 7 minutes of burpees.
Oh,
but I did it in zone 2, no big deal. Like
no, it wasn't because it was like a 10-second burpee. So it was like a drop down, go, cool. All right, and drop down again, and yeah, it was very very slow and controlled burpees to stay there.
Yeah.
So those are mine. Grids and zone 2, basically.
And runs. I feel like you ran a ton in Maryland. Didn't you like get lost one day? Ran like 10 miles around the whatever. And your Garmin showed you the map. Do you remember that?
So I did I did a 10K in the harbor, but there was one time where we did so there's like a B&A trail it goes from Baltimore to Annapolis, is what it's called, B&A trail. And my intervals took me out like 3 or 4 miles, and how I thought of it, what it was going to be in my head. I usually pre-select my turnaround point, and then and it was only one way. So then I got to a point, and I was like, wait a minute, I still have to turn around, and I just hit, like 4 miles. Well, I guess I'm running 8 miles today. So yeah, no, when I was in Maryland, especially at my parents, I ran a lot because there's a really awesome trail to run at, and that's just what I had to work with.
Awesome.
Jerred.
Yeah, I don't do anything on vacation. I just completely unplug and
Chase your kids.
I just
Lies.
eat whatever I want to eat. And
Can we talk about Tahoe? You doing your pull-ups and Murph?
yeah, no,
what I woke up to.
So this ski trip I just took was the least I've ever exercised on a trip. So I normally, like Joe mentioned, if you're going to exercise while you're on, I keep calling it a trip because Emily and I are very careful to distinguish a trip from a vacation. And when you have 3 young children, any number of children, you have young children, there are no vacations with them.
Right.
There are trips. You're taking trips with them. And I'm sure a lot of people
down.
understand the difference. So yeah, it was a trip. But what was interesting, I only really worked out like 3 times, but I was skiing every day basically from open to close. They opened at 9 and would close at 4. And so it was a very active trip. That's why I was okay with not exercising more. But I typically get in first thing in the morning, as Joe mentioned, because when you are on any sort of trip or vacation, you want to do the other things that are there. You don't want to have because all said and done, if you have to go to the hotel gym and you train for an hour, there's 30 minutes before, 30 minutes after. Yeah, I don't want to burn up 2 hours of my trip or vacation exercising, to be honest. I want to get it done first thing in the morning, and I don't really change my sleep schedule. I don't sleep in because I sleep enough every day. So vacation is not a chance for me to catch up on sleep. I know a lot of people my parents were like that. We'd go on trips and they don't exercise as much now, but they used to go to the gym relatively regularly, but they didn't sleep a lot. So it would just be like absolutely no exercise on the trip, and they would sleep like 11 hours and all this ridiculous stuff. And I've just never been that way. I get enough sleep every day, and I'll continue to exercise. I feel bad if I don't exercise. I start to feel I wasn't feeling good even on that ski trip with only 3 training sessions. It's probably more mental than it is anything else. But yeah, my favorite. Just calling me out on it being mental, right, Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, okay. We each have our own approach, don't we?
That's it. That's it.
The philosophy. So yeah, get it done early in the morning. The one-man system is my favorite as well. These days, if I don't ship a kettlebell to your house pre my arrival, then I will just do the one-man system or zone 2 run for the most part. My favorite workout, I mention it every time we talk about it because it's sneaky effective, sneaky hard, and you can do it in the hotel room anywhere, is 100 handstand push-ups for time.
Oh my gosh.
Every time you drop from the handstand push-ups, you have to do 20 air squats. And it's basically Meet Yourself Saturday. Like, I should just make it the travel Meet Yourself Saturday or whatever, because you can do it anywhere and it gets insanely hard really fast. Because by the end, I don't know how other people are with handstand push-ups, but after really, let's say 30, I'm having to break it into very small sets.
Oh yeah.
And so you start to get really pissed off when you're doing sets of 1 and then doing 20 air squats. And you get really pissed off because you're trying as hard as you can to get that handstand push-up, and you literally just got 1. You're so fatigued. You're like, that was just 1. Then you have to do 20. Then you could sit there and wait, but it could take a long time. So scale that. However, if you want to do 20 handstand push-ups for time with 20 air squats or 25, 50, 75, whatever it is, or, it wouldn't be a box elevated, a bed elevated. Put your feet on the bed in your hotel or something to do the handstand push-ups.
Look at you.
Yeah, bed elevated handstand push-ups. There are a lot of ways that's my favorite one. If it's a short trip, like say like a 3-day, I'd probably do that. I'd probably do a run and then something maybe random the next day, probably like the one-man system, like just calisthenics portions with the slow, the dynamic, and the control stuff. So those are my favorite. And I used to be a lot more hardcore. I do not visit gyms on travel. There are people who are more hardcore than I, where they would go pay a drop-in fee at a gym or whatever. I just don't want to be that person. I also don't want to disrupt a trip by having to like, it just makes it seem so self-centered at that point. And I'm not trying to, if you do that on your trips, that's awesome. Like go for it. But I just feel self-centered if I'm like, we're going to need about 4 hours today for me to find a gym, go exercise at the gym, come back. It seems a bit ridiculous. So my stuff is always body weight and just getting something simple done. Still always about an hour though as well. So yeah, that's my travel philosophy with, I can't not do it. I can't not do it.
It'd be great for when we do our team retreat in Tahoe when I'm living back in Monterey. So I can just load my car up with kettlebells in my sandbag.
We'll do the handstand push-up one with the
Oh
squats.
no.
No need. We have equipment.
Nah,
We got a mountain to climb.
we need to do that one together as a team. I like to see everyone's
Struggle.
Breaking point.
angry face.
What do you mean
Put
coming
me in
down
a
that
Spartan
hill? From
race.
Spartan.
I was gonna say we've
the
all seen
first
Kyle's.
hill.
Yeah, I've seen Kyle give looks to an obstacle that should have broken these inanimate objects.
That's what I was trying to do. And it didn't work, but
That was awesome. I've also seen Joe really pissed off. Ashley, I think
good
you
mountain,
kind of
that hill.
We did. It was the first hill coming down because I had never done a Spartan. And I looked at you and I go, this is effing stupid. And I don't ever say the F word. So.
Yeah. Oh, such good times. All right.
I should have started with a sprint. Oh man.
So speaking of travel workouts, what's the Meet Yourself Saturday for this week?
This is just all Ashley. She can take the whole thing.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. I have it pulled up just in case. It's the O3 5K. That's why I say it was funny. But it is 6 rounds for time. Well, the whole thing is for time, but 6 rounds of an 800-meter run. And then right after the 800-meter run, you're going to do 3 rounds of 5 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, and 15 air squats. And then after you've completed 6 rounds of that, you get to rest for 3 minutes. And then you will do a 100-meter sprint, rest for 1 minute, and then do another 100-meter sprint. And you have a 60-minute time cap to do that. So you have 4 minutes of rest built in, and we always laugh because we see people's times. You at least should submit a 4-minute time if you did this.
I did the 4 minutes of rest. We're good.
Exactly. I time cap myself after the 4 minutes rest.
What's below recruit?
I feel like we are always split on this because some of you believe that the makeup time should be during your runs, and the smarter people feel like you make up your time in the calisthenics. Right, Joe?
Yeah, the logisticians.
Yeah. We're split on this too, so it's kind of funny.
I just feel like you can only do the calisthenics so fast. And so if you're doing
so
the
that's why they're
calisthenics
as fast as possible.
well, yeah, you do them as fast as possible, but then like, so you're really like, your
I'm not
time is
saying-
coming from how fast you can do the run. Like,
I'm not saying sandbag the run. I'm not saying that.
yeah,
But I'm saying like stick to a pace and do the runs at that, and then bust out the calisthenics as fast as you can go.
I don't even know what camp I'm in anymore.
You were in the run camp last time.
Yeah, but just do it all fast. I just did this workout a few days ago, so I have things to say about it.
I can't do this workout anymore. I guess I could do it like in a zone 2 800-meter and just like
Yeah.
take the time cap away.
Zone 2 5K.
Maybe I will do that on Saturday.
Yeah, I'd say with the runs, pick a sustainable but uncomfortable pace. So like the first 1 or 2 runs, you might be like, yeah, I think I can do this for a while.
Mhm.
And then after like 3 rounds halfway through, because you add on the air squats, it's gonna that same pace is gonna be uncomfortable. And then the last 2 are gonna be like, holy crap. So yeah, I think that's my main takeaway for it.
do we have a wine pairing for this one?
It would be the same wine pairing that I give
Rosé?
all the time. My rosé all day would be EDM for this. I love EDM for this. Or it has to be something with a beat because you have to get going. Like I couldn't listen to like smooth jazz, right, Kyle? Or
The new
He was
NF
zone two.
album comes out the week
Yes.
this is published.
That's true.
No, he's too slow.
What?
NF is too slow.
Get out. Out.
I've tried to listen to a couple of the
Off.
songs, but I've only gotten
Let
like
me send the
halfway.
couple that you should be listening
Yeah,
to.
I was
Off
like,
the podcast.
only two
Maybe
that's
he's-
on there.
Maybe he has too many songs. I just go to his Spotify page and I usually start at the top.
Yeah, well, his most popular one is like my least favorite one, and it
Which
is
is?
relatively. It was the one that like made him popular. It was like there's like a girl in it and stuff.
Oh, not trans-
Let you
Mansion.
down, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, let you down.
Yeah. And he just dropped a new one, I think like today, a new song from his album. Like there was Clouds, and then now there's Lost. Lost just he just dropped
Well,
that one as well.
He also had not just Clouds, Paid My Dues too. That one is
That one's good. Yeah.
pretty sick because he raps almost as fast as Eminem in that.
Congratulations, NF. You just got about 60 seconds of free airtime.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't need our.
No.
Oh, he doesn't.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So I just did this. I did it rowing, which is way faster than running, apparently. I did it without the sprints added in there and the 4 minutes added in there. I did it in 32 minutes, which is
Wow,
like
nice.
the fastest I've ever done. I track both, just so we're clear on that. I track both. I track the main work time, and then I track the 4 minutes plus the extra 100 meters. So I track both. But I was experimenting with this one, and I want to give some tips on execution from heart rate zone standpoint, because this is what I did. I would do the 800 meter portions on the rower at around zone 3. And this is how you're supposed to do things, just so everyone's aware. There's zone 2 that we talk about a lot. That's building up that aerobic base, helping with a lot of just general health issues. There's zone 4 and zone 5, which are these like killer paces, right? Like they're hard to maintain. You can't maintain them for very long most of the time. And so zone 3 is supposed to be for an endurance athlete, like a true endurance athlete, a longer like in a longer race, so let's say half marathon, that is supposed to be the zone you race in. And that's the only really time that you do things in zone 3 is you would run your marathon in zone 3. And then if you want to push it up to zone 4 later on, but the reason they do that is because you could maintain zone 4, and we've proven it on the BCT track. You can maintain zone 4 for 30 minutes if you want to, but it's really hard to do. And so I think I would go zone 3 the first 3 rounds of the 800 meters. I would keep it in zone 3. And so it would become my rest, because I could, in the calisthenics, I would move so fast, my heart rate would bump into zone 4 for all of the calisthenics. And then I'd get back on the rower and I'd bring it down to a pace that's just upper zone 3, and I'd keep it there. That was the first 3 rounds. And then the last 3 rounds, I just went everything zone 4. So, and then even zone 5 for round 6. So I tried to keep everything in zone 5 for the last round, which was challenging, but spent about 5 to 6 minutes in zone 5. So I would play around with your heart rate in doing this. So you see how I guess it was really 3 rounds in zone 3-ish, zone 4 for the calisthenics. The next 2 rounds were all zone 4 between the rowing and the calisthenics, and the last round zone 5. And that's only because I felt like I had a tank to empty. Like I felt like I was still like, you know what, I can go harder than I am. But that was just really good pacing. It was fast. Like I said, it was like right around, it was like 32:03. Not with the, like I said, not with the rests and the 100 meters, but that's probably the fastest I've done that workload. But I've also only ever really done this workout running. So I think running is just a little bit slower than you would be with rowing. So that I would say play with your heart rate on this and really dial things in to where you think, because if you just try and go fast and you kick off in zone 4 on round 1, you might be able to maintain it. Like I think with some of the practice we've had on BCT, I think I could maintain zone 4 throughout the entire thing, but that's because we've been practicing almost that specific heart rate zone for longer intensities for a while now. I don't think I could have done that 6-8 months ago. So just keep that in mind if you are wearing a heart rate monitor during this workout. And it's just cool to kind of know these things about yourself. because if you are wearing a heart rate monitor and you're doing any sort of exercise, you just know, you kind of know what you can handle, what you can't handle, and where you would like hit a wall. And I think it's really cool to know these things about yourself, because I felt so in control during that workout. I never got to a point where, even when I was in the zone 5, I never felt like out of control or like I was breathing too hard or my heart was beating too fast. I still felt very in control the entire workout. So playing around with those things, it makes these workouts a lot of fun, because you know where to push it and where to hold back, as opposed to the old way of doing things, of doing a hard workout would just be, I just go as hard as I can until I have to slow down. And if you're having to slow down halfway through the EO3 5K, that's a lot of workout left. You went too hard too soon. So there you go. Try it out. Try out the heart rate. I was also looking for more information to give, because I think we've briefed this like 9 times on the podcast, and I can't just say go fast. So there you go. Be strategic. That was a Joe move.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yay, we're talking about pacing.
Yeah, pacing according to your heart rate. Try it out. Try it out on every workout. Really, any Meet Yourself Saturday workout. That's how I do a lot of things now, because I just know, where I'll fall off. All right. Anything else? Any other tips, tricks, strategies?
I don't think so. Hopefully everybody has nice weather now that they can do it outside.
Yeah.
Denver just got hit with a ton of snow.
Yeah, we just barely missed that.
Mm.
It's like it was rolling in the day before we left.
Mm.
All right. Well, we can wrap this one up. Thank you so much to everyone listening to the podcast, if you're even still listening. I know we can ramble on, but I do appreciate all of the podcast subscribers listening in every single week, and being part of the community. That's the big thing. They're the listeners, and then they're the people putting in the work every single day. The true Garage Gym Athlete community, and I appreciate each and every single one of you. If you want to be part of that community, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can sign up for a 14-day free trial and become a part of that awesome community. Either way, guys, thanks for watching or listening. Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.